Hello, this is John Harrigan from immortalnow.com, where we teach the secret to immortality. At deeper levels of self, I suggest there's a greater power than willpower. When you start to meditate and start to take suggestions and practice the Qigong that we teach at immortalnow.com, you'll find in time that most likely you experience a deeper level of self. And at this level of self, there's a greater power than willpower. That's what I call it. There's the infinite you, the deep and subtle you that is much more powerful than willpower wanting to get things done immediately in the here and now. When we let go a bit and let our soul arise, we're more of ourselves. We're more at peace. We're more happy, blissful, and well. So at deeper levels of self, there is a greater power than willpower, a universal peace and love where we are more ourselves. If you go to immortalnow.com and you listen to our podcast, which you can find there, if you read some articles and you try a free Qigong lesson, you can get to this greater power of you. The real you, the infinite you, the timeless and eternal you. And with the secret to immortality, the idea is that we live from this place out into our flesh, into the world. And the purpose of the secret to immortality really is a worldwide mission of changing consciousness. You know, there are a lot of wonderful ways to spiritually develop, to grow and learn around the world, and a lot of wonderful books. But with the secret to immortality, we take it one step farther. Yes, we're all familiar with the idea that we create our lives, that we create our world. And physicists today, some physicists and quantum mechanics think that we are creating the world ourselves. And it's a little hard to stand. It's a little difficult to understand, but there's an intuitive part in that. As you get to understand more and more that you are responsible for your thoughts, your feelings, your physical behavior, that you can bring all of yourself to your daily life, as you get to be more and more in control, more responsible in creating your life, the idea that we're creating this very reality is somehow intuitive. You don't have to understand exactly how it's done, because even in physics, it's not an exact thing where we can say, this is black and white. In physics today, more and more, and really all of science, nothing is ever black and white. The more we know, the less we know. But what does seem apparent is that we're creating ourselves. And that's obvious on little ways. We dress ourselves. We choose how we dress, what we dress. We choose our careers by doing nothing. We choose our career by working hard at an education. We choose our career. But with the secret to immortality, we're taking all of that personal development, self-awareness, to one more step. And that one more step is this, that we create the physical world. We create the laws of physics in this universe, and other universes, perhaps infinite universes, and the many worlds idea, infinite universes do have and will have different laws of physics, according to what some physicists believe and write. And we're suggesting that in this place that we live, universe, whatever you want to call it, on this planet, that we are creating the laws of physics that affect us. And this is nothing new. Ancient American Indian wisdom that we know of, that has been passed down, is that we control the natural world, weather, what's happening around us. we suggest at immortalnow.com that our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior give instructions, write the computer code, the programming for nature, telling nature what to do. I would go one step farther and say, we are nature. And you may say, how is that possible? Go deep into the mountains, the Pacific Northwest, where they're up in Canada or in the state of Washington, where the mountains are a bit more rugged, a bit more wild and untouched. In nature, we get a sense that we are this nature. In meditation, in mindfulness for immortality, we start to experience ourselves at deeper and deeper levels. And with this secret to immortality, what we're doing with mindfulness for immortality, especially with Qigong for lasting life — I teach Qigong as a Qigong master of decades — and immortality coaching, we are connecting within ourselves, within our bodies, in a deep and purposeful way where we have been disconnected. As we connect within ourselves, we connect to the world and beyond the world. And the secret to immortality is really growing consciousness, growing health, where we are part of, where we're connected with, where we're one with all of existence and beyond. And when you're one and connected at a deeper and deeper level, you're connected to the exterior reality as well as the interior, that reality being one and the same. There is, in effect, no real interior and exterior. It's all just who you are, who we are together. And as we get together and stop killing each other and create a better world that's more and more happy, we don't need more and more people to do that. We just need a nucleus of people to stop killing, to act kind, and to focus with a little deliberation and purpose on physical immortality. We really don't have to have a world where every life form is chasing another life form to catch it, eat it, and kill it. Catch it, kill it, and eat it. And sometimes one before the other and not. We don't need this type of creation. And I'm suggesting to you that we created this in our own way over time, life-making choices, and we can change the creation to a kinder, more divine and sacred manner, a kinder way that really reflects who we are. It's hard to develop and grow when all you're going to do is die at the end. It's hard to really reach your full potential, where consciously or unconsciously you're going to bail at some point through death. It's hard to die. It can be painful and drawn out. If you've helped anyone through that process, no more death, no more suffering, no more pain. We make that the reality. It's not like a pill you take or a magic incantation. The magic incantation is you living your life. I'm trying to move my head away from all the glare, the sun setting a bit. You living your life is the magic. The story that we believe, that we follow, creates reality, creates ourselves, and the story that we're living out. I suggest life is kind of like a holodeck program, where we're in this holodeck program living our life, but we've kind of forgotten who we are and where we come from. And that's why we do mindfulness for meditation at immortalnow.com. It's why we do Qigong for lasting life and immortality coaching at immortalnow.com. I'm going to read from you what I did at the beginning from a post recently to Instagram. A post to Instagram, and you can find that. Go to our blog, and at every blog article and at every podcast that we post, we have our Instagram account you can get to, and we have our Facebook account you can get to. Quote from a recent Instagram post: at deeper levels of self, there is a greater power than willpower, a universal peace and love where we are more ourselves. I wrote the post, and what I'm describing is my experience and the experience of others, everyone I know who has ever gotten to that deep, immortal, eternal being that we are, that we all share together in love and compassion. Probably the biggest attribute of this eternal self is love. Quote, at deeper levels of self, there is a greater power than willpower, a universal place of love where we are more ourselves. Does that sound good if you've never experienced that? I bet you have experienced that in some way or place. And the idea is to get there as a daily practice more and more until it is predominantly where you are in consciousness as you live out your life as a physical being, in your physicality. And what I love about how yoga has come online in the popular world, whether it's not all really yoga perhaps, and sometimes just an exercise class at the Y, yoga is about coming into union with yourself and with all of reality and beyond. Yoga meaning union. And when we're in union with the universal self, all that we are, your higher power of your understanding, God, if you're religious, when you're in union with that, there is no death. When you're in union with that, you feel who you really are. Every spiritual person in history, in some way or another, wrote about this. And my Qigong teacher, Qigong grandmaster from China, he learned in the mountains of Wudang, China, from immortals. Started out physical as you and me, but lived into physical immortality, one after the other, teaching and spreading this word. And what is Christianity really more than Jesus Christ saying, love your neighbor as yourself, love your enemies, radical, deliberate, focused love at every moment of every time, bringing you to that God consciousness, that self-consciousness, where there is no death. What did Jesus talk about? What would the Taoist in the caves, the immortal Taoist in the caves of China, what would they be talking about? Perhaps the exact same thing. In any school of spiritual growth, of human growth and development, there eventually, slowly, and more securely over time is that experience of the deep eternal self and living as that self into this world physically. So let's all of us together, slowly or very quickly, change who we are to our deep and accurate selves that are eternal in the physical world. Let's change the physical world, how it acts and behaves with all of us. That's all for now, something to think about at immortalnow.com, where we teach the secret to immortality. Bless you and keep you. You are immortal now.